is a GST with 7 or possibly more rates. It is a mockery of GST. When we have rates like 0.25, 3, 5, 12, 18, 28 and 40, and possibly more because of the discretion vested with the state governments, how can we call this a one nation, one tax regime? The central government should have engaged the leaders of the political parties to forge a consensus on 3 rates. It failed to do so. Besides, we are convinced that the administration and businesses, especially small and medium businesses, are unprepared or underprepared for the rollout of GST. Businesses wanted some more time, and the rollout should have been deferred by 2 months. The GSTN should have been put through a trial run and the glitches of any removed. The numerous requests for rationalization of rates, businesses should have been given time to familiarize themselves with the task of filing 3 returns every month. The special problems of multi-state businesses should have been resolved. A Congress-led government would have certainly worked hard toward a single rate with 3 variations. Furthermore, we would have capped GST at 18%. That was eminently feasible. The Chief Economic Advisor to this government had clearly recommended a GST rate of 15 to 15.5% and demonstrated that it was a revenue-neutral rate. If that report was correct, why did the government go in for rates like 28% and 40%? By definition, GST is a single tax. If you think that the country is not yet ready for a single tax, don't have it, but don't call it GST. Don't say we're implementing GST. The world over, GST is a single tax. For Indian conditions, we recommended, Mr. Yashwant Sinha has concurred with that view, there can be a standard, standard minus, standard plus. Please read the Chief Economic Advisor's report. The Chief Economic Advisor's report also says standard, standard minus, standard plus. That is a single tax with Indian variations. But if you have 7 rates and 8 rates, and in course of time you have 10 rates, call it your Indian tax system. ITS. Don't call it GST. Call it an Indian indirect tax system. As for the future, the Congress party will watch out the role of GST closely. We will continue to articulate the fears and grievances of small and medium businesses, multi-state businesses and consumers. We will demand that petroleum products, electricity and real estate be brought under GST. We will press for a reduction in rates. We will demand a cap of 18%. We will keep vigil over the possible misuse of the draconian powers given to the Anti-Profiteering Authority. And finally, we will highlight the elements of a true GST. I belong to a responsible political party. All I can say is that this is not the GST that we envisaged when I announced it on 18th of February 2006. And Mr. Yashwant Sinha, who appointed the Empowered Committee, concurs and says this is not the GST that he envisaged too. So neither Mr. Yashwant Sinha nor I nor my successor, the Honorable Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, envisaged this GST. This is not the GST which Dr. Manmohan Singh envisaged. This is a very different animal.